A whispering doll, a vanishing village. Her bell was the only way out. Eliza was a strange little girl, small and quiet, with hair as dark as midnight and mismatched eyes, one green like a dew-covered leaf, the other a pale, silvery gray like a sky just before a storm. Her patched blue dress, stitched with tiny red hearts, looked like it belonged in a forgotten attic, and a small silver bell hung from a ribbon around her neck, barely making a sound even when she ran. Everyone in her fog-covered village kept their distance, whispering behind curtains and shutting doors when she passed. They called her Cursed, the Dollmaker's daughter. Years ago, her mother had crafted dolls so lifelike they made people uncomfortable. When her workshop mysteriously burned to ash, leaving behind only one scorched doll with its mouth cruelly sewn shut, the village turned cold and cruel, and Eliza became a ghost in her own home. The children avoided her like a shadow, and the grown-ups offered only stares of suspicion. With every passing day, Eliza's heart twisted tighter with loneliness and hate, not the loud kind, but a quiet, aching hate that grew like vines inside her chest. She stopped crying. She stopped hoping. She spoke only to the doll left behind by her mother, its cracked porcelain face pressed close to hers as she whispered her secrets in the dark. Then, one night, the doll whispered back. Its voice was dry and crackling, like leaves underfoot, and it asked her if she wanted to be loved. She said yes without thinking. The next morning, the village was silent. Children's beds were found empty, and in their place sat dolls, each with frozen glass eyes, stiff limbs, and red thread mouths sewn shut. Eliza didn't cry. She smiled. For the first time, she felt powerful, surrounded by dolls who didn't judge her, who sat beside her as friends. No one called her names anymore. The whispers stopped. But something colder began to stir beneath the silence. Then came Thomas, a strange boy not from the village, with golden eyes that flickered like candle flames and a green cloak speckled with silver stars. He didn't fear Eliza. He didn't flinch at the doll she carried or the eerie quiet that followed her. Instead, he laughed with her, played hide-and-seek in the mist, and showed her how to make music with grass and wind. Eliza tried not to trust him, tried to hate him like she had hated everyone else, but his kindness was like sunlight through her ribs. It warmed her in places she thought had gone cold forever. The dolls noticed. They grew restless, twitching when her back was turned, their button eyes tracking Thomas. One night, he vanished. His lantern was found shattered beside the old well, and in his place stood her mother's doll, grown taller and more grotesque, its mouth no longer stitched shut but grinning wide with too many teeth. "You gave your love to him," it hissed. "You forgot who made you strong." Eliza's heart shattered like glass, and she realized her hate had not protected her, it had poisoned her. Trembling, she clutched the silver bell around her neck, the only piece of her mother that still felt warm, and rang it. The sound that came was soft, barely louder than a whisper, but it was pure. It rang through the village like a breeze after a storm. One by one, the dolls froze, then cracked, then crumbled to dust like forgotten dreams. The stitched doll let out a scream that tore through the clouds, and was gone. Thomas returned, his golden eyes dimmed but kind. He took her hand, and though the village took time to heal, it did. The grown-ups nodded now instead of turning away. The children watched her with curiosity instead of fear. And Eliza, once the cursed child, ran through fields that bloomed again, her silver bell singing a soft tune with every step. She no longer needed hate to feel strong. She had found love. Not from magic or revenge, but from forgiveness, from light, and from a boy who saw her not as a monster, but as a girl who was simply lost and waiting to be found. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe.